Hi, it's Frank with OxygenGuy.com, and today we're going to do things a little differently. I actually have a two-parter. I have two questions from a subscriber. The monitor asked, well, their question is about, they state that their machine sounds quieter and seems to work fine, but it has a puffing noise every 6 seconds or so that I don't hear on the machine in this video. Is this normal? No alarms are going off. Also, it's missing its outside filter. Can I use anything else temporarily? It's working fine without it, with the puffing sound, but worried it will damage the motor. Also, I have no idea how to attach the bottle. Let's go to the first question first. Okay, now as far as your machine goes making the puffing sound, I'm almost guessing it sounds like a heavy breathing where you hear it go and then it goes kind of like your Darth Vader breathing going on, which is semi-normal for the machine. As they get more use and get older, you're going to hear it more and more. It's quite possibly as a result of the sieve beds taking in too much dirt, which over time that's going to happen. Unfortunately, that's beyond anything I do with the machines. If you were on my route, what I would do is I would come to your house and I would test the airflow to see if you're getting the proper liter coming out of it for your script. I would test the purity to make sure it's putting out the right output. And then other than that, I would replace the outside filter for you. As far as a replacement for it goes, it's a thin HEPA filter. I think you're better off calling your provider to get another one. If you don't have a provider, you've bought in the machine, at the very least I would order one, say off of eBay or Amazon. I'll try to put a link down below, one of my affiliate links, make it easier so I know exactly what you're looking at and make sure you have the right one. Now the question is, before I do that, let me know what type of machine you have, because I'm guessing it's a Profecto, and if that's the case, like the one in the video, I'll have that down below. Now if it's a Platinum invacare, I'll have that one down below too. Yeah, that'll make it easier. Okay, but yeah, as far as that goes, I would have to test it to see what it's doing. But if it's not meeting the standards that we have set up for our testing, I would literally take it and replace it on the spot and send it back to the shop. But if it's your own machine, that's another case of how you got it. Did you buy it used? Did you buy it from a company that guaranteed it for a certain period of time? It really depends on what you have going on with that. Okay, and then the second question, it looks like you're talking about how to attach the bottle, which I'm assuming is your humidification bottle, and the tube wouldn't stay on even though I tried to screw the green wheel lid down on it. Thanks. A better way to put it would be, how do I install a humidifier bottle on an oxygen concentrator? So what I'm thinking here, I don't have any equipment here at the house, but I can pretty much draw this out here. Okay, so on an invacare Profecto, what you'll have is you'll have the front, and there'll be like a little base, and you'll be able to attach, or you'll be able to set the bottle down on here, and then the bottle will have a screw top, and then your nozzles up here. Now there's two different types of tubing that I'm aware of that connect from the bottle to the machine. You have it's a harder plastic tubing that has a screw top that just fits right into the tubing. And basically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to angle that in like an S. to make it attach to the machine. Or there's another type which is really thin, thicker than your tubing or your cannula, but not a whole lot thicker. And it's virtually twice as long. Now what we do with those is we attach them to the machine, but we don't go straight. Just like with the other one, we're doing an S form. With the long one, we actually take and we do a curly Q. That way, there's no extra tubing hanging off to the side. It's all going straight to the machine. Now, if you had a platinum model, which I'll show you that, this would be the Profecto, the platinum. Sorry, I should have grabbed an eraser. My home studio. Now an invacare platinum would set up like this. Platinum XL, or even the platinum 10, which is a 10 liter. The XL is a 5 liter. But your XL and the platinum, there's going to be a spot here off to the side, and then your points there. You'll have the bottle, you'll have the screw in part for the tubing. The curly Q actually, or the longer tube, works better with this machine, but you can still put a curl in it or so that way there's not tubing going everywhere. Now the stiffer hose goes right to it. There's really no extra going on there. So that's that. If you had, let's see here, if you had a Phillips, which would be Phillips Phillips Millennium. The Millennium is sort of a big blue square. Now its point here, the part that comes out for the oxygen, is a little rounded green, most of them are green, little green nozzle that actually screws into the machine. And you can screw it out. And you take that out, you just screw it out, and you'll be able to put your bottle here instead. The bottle will be directly connected into the machine. So that's the Phillips, the Millennium machine. Then of course your air's gonna, your machine's hooked up to there, and then the tubing going outward is here. Easy enough. And let's see here. Actually, also, I believe the devilbiss sets up just like this. The devilbiss machine, and there was one other one. I'm trying to think. Everflo. Actually, Everflo is in the back. It sits in the back of the machine, and then the point is here approximately. But you'll have the tubing come around, and it'll go to it. Now, after you've connected your bottle, and it stays together obviously because that's what you're mainly concerned about, you don't want to fill it up all the way. There's actually a fill line. It's over halfway a little bit, but it's not, it's a little over halfway, but you'll actually see the fill line. If you go over that, you could push the water into the lines. Now, whichever setup you have, what you would do is you would hook it up. You want to use distilled water in this. You don't want to use your tap water. You don't want to use any other, I mean, you could use the sterile water, the real fancy type, but distilled water will be just fine. It costs you $1 or so at Walmart or Giant or any of the big grocery places or the small grocery places. $1 to $1.50 a gallon. Should last you a long time. And you really don't want to use anything like, I've seen dehumidifier water being used in this, and what happens is that gets really brown and you're breathing this in your nose. You definitely don't want that. So yeah, distilled water, cheap, quick, easy. You just fill it up every couple days. This would be the most you need. The humidifier bottle generally is 3 liters and up, but I've had patients at 2 liters say they feel it just fine. So I say if it works for you, go for it. 1 liter, you're definitely not going to get any effect out of it. to do more harm than good, getting more water in the lines and such. And you're going to want to keep an eye out for that. Generally at 2 to 3 liters you shouldn't see much, but with changes of weather and stuff you might see water in your tubing. When that happens, if it happens, I've seen plenty of people that don't have it happen, but if it does, give me a call and I can put a trap on there. We basically put it at the end of the tubing right before your cannula going up. The only reason I don't rush to put a water trap is because they're highly breakable. You can step on them and bust them wide open. So I try to wait until there is a problem before I address that, rather than go into it ahead of time and have a break and then have a problem. But easy enough. Okay, so we have that. Now if you do get water in your lines, what I usually tell customers, we've used the traps and such, but sometimes you still have an issue if someone's running a higher liter flow with getting water in the lines. It happens. What I usually do is we usually switch back and forth. Literally, I've had customers where once a week we just you pull off their hose and we'd put it up on the shower rod, let it drain out, and put the other one on. Just switch it back and forth until it's time to replace all the lines. Usually every 6 months. But yeah, that's basically what I did for those customers. We would just take and just keep switching back and forth. Well, they would, and I would do it when I was there. No big deal. Okay, so that's most of the machines I know about. Obviously, there's more than those, but those are the ones that I'm aware of, the usual setup. I'm going to try to put links for the water bottle. I'm going to try to put links for the water trap. I'm going to try to put links for the filters. And like I said, they'll all be affiliate links, but at least I can control, as far as if we get pennies towards the channel, that's cool. I appreciate that. But I'll be able to control what you're seeing. I want to make sure you're looking at the right products. So I'll put those on there down below in the links. You can use them, not use them. You can take a look at them just to get an idea. Whatever. I just want to make sure everybody knows up and up. I don't want to push anything on anybody that they don't want. Okay, now that's it. Try to do this a little bit more often. Hopefully I can help out and answer questions in more of a format where hopefully I can give a better example for people. I thank you very much for joining us today, and have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.